వరి బియ్యం గోధుమల వినియోగం పెరిగిన తర్వాతే ప్రజల్లో అనారోగ్య సమస్యలు ఎక్కువయ్యాయని స్వతంత్ర శాస్త్రవేత్త, ఆరోగ్య, ఆహార నిపుణులు, కృషి రత్న డాక్టర్ ఖాదర్ వలి స్పష్టం చేశారు. ఆహార పంటల ఉత్పత్తిలో విచ్చలవిడిగా రసాయన ఎరువులు వాడుతున్నారని, అవి కొత్త రోగాలకు కారణమవుతున్నాయని ఆవేదన వ్యక్తం చేశారు. హైదరాబాద్లోని నాబార్డ్ కేంద్ర కార్యాలయంలో జరిగిన సిరిధాన్యాల కార్యక్రమంలో ఖాదర్ వలి గెస్ట్ లెక్చర్ ఇచ్చారు. కార్యక్రమంలో నాబార్డ్ తెలంగాణ చీఫ్ జనరల్ మేనేజర్ విజయ్ కుమార్, ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ చీఫ్ జనరల్ మేనేజర్ సెల్వరాజ్, జనరల్ మేనేజర్ షరీఫ్, నాబార్డ్ మాజీ జనరల్ మేనేజర్ పాలాది మోహనయ్య, రైతునేస్తం ఫౌండేషన్ చైర్మన్ ఎడ్లపల్లి వెంకటేశ్వరరావు తదితరులు పాల్గొన్నారు.
We are happy to be here on a very good topic of relevance today. See, in those days, 20-30 years back, we have neglected one crop called millet crops. Because all of us thought that only paddy and wheat, these two are the only two major crops, which is good, which gives more income, and people liked it and people enjoyed it. That is what we thought about. And we somehow neglected the millet crops. What is the millet? We talk about millet. Millet means some of you may be knowing, some of you may not be knowing because of our urban orientation. You know about sorghum, bajra, tenai, kudirevalli, like that, there are so many, 8-9 things are there. Even, I saw one brown-headed millet in first time in Andhra. Even I do not know what is the Tamil name for this. Even I have seen it here and I asked the people, nobody could tell me. Then after knowing that name, I searched in the Google also, what is the equivalent Tamil name for this. But even in Google, it is written that so far we have not identified Tamil name for that. So that is what the reply comes. But the fact is that it is a millet crop. Immediately after seeing the millet crop, I have told in Guntur district, Prakasam district, so who has been cultivating that brown-headed millet, see, I am ready to support from NABARD. You identify 100 farmers, let them go for this millet. I can give you up to 25 lakhs and give me a project. This is what I decided on the spot, and I am expecting a proposal to come from the NGO. So this is the speed at which we have been working for promotion of the millets. And we have the experts like our Dr. Khader Vali and our people like our Venkateshwara, who is a Padma Shri, who is working on Rythunestham Foundation. I think when we are here, I should not talk about, and we should try to discuss with them, know from them how we have to promote this type of millet crops at the national level, state level, district level, and as indicated by Mohanaya ji at the village level also. See, all our, this stops from top to bottom approach, sometimes bottom to top leads to some conflicts, but what best can be done at the field level, we should try to work on that.
I still remember when I was young, I used to drink this, that ambali, millet ambali, sorghum or something like that, even maize. When people, like people quote, now I'm wearing the coat, I think just because of so many development transformations took place, personally, educationally, occupationally. So when people used to come from that city to village, and when you used to offer this ambali, they used to see in a different way, with a great difficulty they used to take that. It means their mind says it is a poor man food. Then I used to say that it is a traditional, our forefathers, they ate this millet and they become very healthy, happy life. Today, that millet becomes, we have forgotten that, and now we are going back. Just because of the body doesn't allow, I think our Salura said, the body doesn't allow, and we concentrated more on the rice, and the rice now becomes, that it increases the carbohydrate or so. Now people's choice differs now. And everybody wants that millet. Then I am happy. Now, the person who is that, the people who are, the town people, they say that is a poor man food, now it becomes a rich man food. That is the transformation of the greatness of the millet crop.
Particularly we are using a lot of water for paddy cultivation, and people say that almost for production of 1 ton paddy, almost 70,000 tons of water is required. And paddy, particularly Punjab, now a lot of stubble burning and then pollution, all these issues are there, plus water resources, of course, you know. And most of the farmers, they are producing paddy to export. And it means 1 ton paddy, if we are exporting 70,000 tons of water to other countries. And it is a huge burden on the nation, because we are free electricity we are providing for producing this paddy, and it is not only consuming water 70,000 tons, 70,000 in the ratio, but also it is depleting our resources.
I'm a trained scientist. I did my PhD in Institute of Science, Bangalore. And then I worked in a university as a postdoctoral in environmental science. I did a lot of good stuff, including degrading the most toxic material on this planet Earth called dioxin. So I'm the first one who has figured out how to degrade, and in large scale, in tons of it. We have developed a method we can degrade any toxic material without having to go through any industry. And so biological systems I have studied for a long time. For the last 15-20 years I worked in the biological world, and I know how a plant is made, how a plant is degraded, how all these wonderful biological systems, starting from human being to the microbe to the plant. So I have been doing that all my life, and I'm a scientist. So, and on top of that, then once my concentration shifted to the people in general, because I figured out back in 1987, I understood that the world is going in the wrong direction, because we have left the nature out and then trying to go out of the orbit and think that we can do something. So this, as a scientist, I noticed that all our scientific activities in quotes became more of economic activities. There is no more science there, basically. It's all driven by corporate companies trying to decide what they want to do, and then just to use their wit, they use the word science now and then, whenever they want. But they do nothing else other than business. This is a bare minimum fact. Because if anywhere, any point of time, if they were to worry really about science, we wouldn't have come this far of global warming and climate change and things like that. So this is the proof of what I am accusing the whole human race of. This is the proof why I am saying what I am saying and what I am saying. So somewhere we have lost the way. So sometime back in 1990s, I recognized this, and then I said I should be not doing the same thing. So I should be doing something different. So I started integrating my knowledge into the workings of nature, and then started looking out for solutions and ways out to weave through this corporate web that is taken over the whole world and created these problems. So my problem was not just small. It is not just good enough to know the way and to make the way popular and then get it into the people so that the whole world can change. So these are the things that I had in my mind back in 1989-90. Since then I have been working out different things, and that's why some people ask me, where do you work? I say I'm an independent scientist and nothing else, period. So I'm not a biologist, I'm not a water management, and everything has to be looked as one thing. And the corporate science does its management by dividing everything. And this is the source of all our problems. Like he asked me, what is jungle farming? Without jungle, there is no farming. But then now we devour jungles and then doing farming. And call this farming. And he said, actually, to put it in much more simpler terms, he was mentioning about, we need 8,000 liters of water to produce 1 kilo of rice, and 28,000 liters of water to produce 1 kilo of sugar. People are all talking about rice and wheat, producing so many tons of sugar. Just India alone produces 48 lakh tons of sugar per year. So imagine the amount of water that we're using to produce this. And And it is an addictive chemical and it has no value for human race at all. In fact, if it has any value, it has the deepest negative effect on the human health. Not only on human health, even all animals, all living things on this planet, actually. So these kinds of issues were bothering me all the time. So we have actually chosen all this rice, wheat, sugar, including soybean, meat, eggs. All these are all industrially making the food in centralized fashion. And that suits the corporates. That suits the corporates. So the consumption on this planet beyond diesel is actually the food. So that's how these corporates in the last 8 years have weaved their way to control the food. If we control the food, then that's it. The whole planet is in their hands. So this is what has actually happened. So why I'm not eating millets? Ambali is a wonderful word. In fact, it's the best food for any living thing on this planet, because all the living things on this planet are not working alone. I, Dr. Khader, has a mouth to the anus. There is a digestive canal. And I harbor millions of bacteria and other small things so that I function healthily. So the ambali is what is called probiotic, which our ancestors recognized and said, if anything happens, any illness, first thing you do is give ambali. Because the first thing that you lose is the immunity. If you lose immunity, you start inviting the diseases. So the first front line of immunity is the microbial, what is called microbiome in your digestive system. And that is there for every animal. If there is a cow or a lion or a tiger or bear in the, not Himalayas, North Pole and South Pole. All this, and that means we are all associated with microbial world. And it is the microbial world actually that churns around everything. It just recycles everything. In fact, the plant becomes animal, animal becomes plant through microbes. So the best example is milk curds. So I, as a person, as a scientist, I refuse to take milk, but I take curds. Milk is an animal product. Curds is a plant product. Because the lactobacillus comes in between and removes all the stuff that are harmful to any living things from the milk. And milk can be consumed directly by humans only when it comes through their mother's breast. Because that has got the right regulators, right hormones, right promoters. And so you cannot take cow's milk and put into your baby's mouth. Because cow is giving milk, it is producing milk to have its baby grow to the proper expected functional activities. So a cow grows this much in 6 months, but your baby grows only this much. So the bone growth requirement requires certain amount of hormones, steroidal hormones. So you are putting more hormone in your baby's mouth if you put cow's milk or goat's milk or whatever milk. This is the problem with all the human race. But then the technology came into picture, biotechnology, oxytocin injections, estrogen injections, making the production of milk more. That's where the business came. That's where technologies have been consumed into business. And there is no more science left. We don't need milk. A drop of milk is not needed for us. But we are producing tons and tons and tons of it. So much so excess, we have made it to dry powders and then supporting all the other things. Declaring, science declares milk is the best food in the world. Paripurna ahara, complete food. See, the whole science is gone out of the window. Just thrown out of the window. And who is doing it? All so-called scientists. So these kinds of issues have bothered me. When I first, why the hell did I do all this? Why am I talking all this with so much passion? The passion came out because when I first met a small girl of 6 years old in America, menstruating at that age non-stop for 1.5 months, not able to stop their bleeding. I said, why? What is going on with this human race? 15 years of age, women should menstruate, but here a girl in 1987, 86 I believe, when I first went to America, I met this girl in the hospital. I went to get my so-called medical certificate. First day of my going to America, this is what has happened. And then I asked the doctor. Doctor said, with his casual American, said, no one knows. That's all that he bothered. He's an MD, working in a big hospital, and here is a girl who is bleeding almost to death, and he doesn't care. So this science has become absolute business. And that's what dawned upon me in 1987. And since then I have been doing things differently in courts. So I immediately recognized the reason was they have been giving milk to these kids. From not even in India, mother tries to feed milk even now, up to 6 months, or actually 9 months in the tummy, 9 months on the breast. That's the way it is designed. So after 9 months, your milk automatically starts, you start weaning the baby. That's the natural way of things happening, because it's all programmed in our genetical mapping of how much of milk, how much of genes open up. All these things are very clearly written. So we are not respecting the nature, despite all of us, all the scientists knowing what I'm talking. Everyone knows. So say, how do I know? Because it's been worked out, it is there in the literature. It's not that I have done all this by myself. I have been studying and learning. So this is what it is, and we have not respected. We started feeding all our babies all over the world because we wanted this dairy business to flourish. Now dairy business is one of the biggest businesses in the world. And now if I say don't give milk to your baby, people looked at me as a mad fellow. It is in 1987 I came back. Actually I had to come back and defend my thesis. As soon as I came, I started giving lecture, don't drink milk. All my people, hey, you're a mad fellow, go. So, and now tell me, if you stop drinking milk in 6 months, I can close down half the hospitals in the world. I can close down half the hospitals in the world. That means all the problems are arising from this milk, the sugar, and all these are all artificial foods that are disturbing our physiology in a very, very compounded and very complex way. And in the last 15-20 years, we have been figuring these things out. And why millets? Why millets? So when I told, don't eat rice, don't eat wheat. Wheat has a problem, additional problem of called gluten, which this starch is the biggest problem for our gut. We cannot do anything with this particular protein, but then we have been consuming because the corporates want us to consume. Like this, the sugar, the moment it parts into our body, it becomes glucose and fructose, and the glucose is flooded into your blood, and the blood, more than 5 grams in your body, each liter of it has to have only 1 gram of glucose. If you eat 1 plate of idli, you will flood 8 grams of glucose. To consume that 1 gram of glucose, you need to walk 15 minutes. So now if you eat this stupid thing, don't mistake me for the word. I consciously use the word. 8 grams. That means you have to walk 2 hours. If it should not do any damage to you. We are loading our bodies with almost 150 grams of glucose every day, because you eat rice, you take 1 Pepsi or 1 coffee, and anything you consume, it's flooding your blood with glucose. Flooding blood with you. So what does it do? Your endocrine glands, liver, kidney, pancreas, pituitary, thyroid, all are over. Emergency case. Oh, let's do something. There is too much glucose. It's like flooding. If water comes, what will you do? You will start doing your policy making and all here. You throw away all the time, start removing the water, whether you are a CGM or anyone. So all these supervisors, all things are gone to your stuff is just thrown away and you first start removing the water. That's it. Whether you're a CGM or an attender. And that's what he's doing. Everything. So then he puts on weight, and then someone puts cholesterol in his blood, someone puts triglycerides, someone gets small nodule in his, someone gets, all these things are arising from this excess glucose. And so much so that you have heart blocks in the age group of 16 years, 12 years now. Just the day before yesterday, 18-year-old boy has got 90% of blocks. The blood is not flowing into his brain. He just gives away. All at a sudden, he loses himself. And again, when small amount of stent, the body starts making stents itself. If there is this block, it starts making another blood vessel immediately. Emergency. So the emergency activities start happening in your body. And that's what is happening all over the world in the last 20, 30 years. We are all working on emergency routes, not on the main road. Main routes are all blocked because you are dumping this glucose. Why are we dumping? Because I said 1.25 lakh hectares are used to get only sugarcane. In fact, Florida has lost its 3 lakes just to produce sugarcane. They were there millions of years. In the last 30 years, it is evaporated. And global warming, to produce your eggs, to produce your meat, 1 kilo meat requires 50,000 liters of water. 50,000 liters of water. So all these issues put together, so you are screwing up your health, you are screwing up your nature, you are screwing up everything. And why are we not eating millets, sir? The corporate companies do not want anyone to eat anything else other than their industrial food culture. Period. This is the answer for your question. If I give ambali, you are a poor fellow. Yeah. You have to eat Godambi. Now we are creating again, eating Godambi, Badami is rich fellows. But in fact, they are very good for you. That is what these corporate companies are telling. In fact, they are as bad as paneer is very good for protein you want. People started eating eggs on the roads. Dialysis units started increasing. Direct proportion relationship. So why millets? Millets are the universal food for human race. They have been consumed all over the world, not just in India. All over the world. In fact, Foxtail millet is called Italian millet. All over Italian Alps and the open spaces of Italy, they were growing this foxtail millet. It is called foxtail millet because it has got a pinnacle as like foxtails. And sir was mentioning brown top, that is present only in Telangana, and actually it is the border of Telangana and Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh. It's called Andukoralu, Telugulo. And in Tamil you can call it green samai. Sama. It's not there in Tamil Nadu. Yeah. And these are the kinds of wonderful diversified stuff. And what is common in these millets? Millets are group of small and big millets. It's like great millet is called jola. Sorghum is a great millet. It's a big one in size. So finger millet, baragu called proso millet. These are a little bigger in size. And minor millets, they are very small in size. Little millet is the smallest of all. Actually, it was all through Africa. It was there. It's called actually African millet. And kodo millet, arka, that is found in Himalayan belt, all over Himalayas, up to the 5,000 feet high. The arka used to grow. But now we have decimated in the name of corporate food culture, rice, wheat, meat, sugar. This is all that we are eating all over the world. And all over the world, everyone has got the similar diseases. Not similar, same disease. Diabetes, thyroid, BP, cancer, H1N1, H5N1, dengue, junka, punka, all kinds of diseases. All are due to loss of immunity because we have been feeding ourselves not only this industrial food culture and the so-called antibiotics. You have any problem, shoot 2 courses of antibiotics to your kid or to the old man or to the middle man. Everyone gets the same thing in all over the world, not just in India. And what happens when you do this? So the doctors are directly responsible for your loss of immunity. So you shoot antibiotics, your body loses all the microbiome that is in there, so you have no chance of recovering. Whatever little chance you had, you are lost. So the best thing you want to do when you have fever and all, please don't go to doctor. Take Ambali. What is Ambali? You soak your grain. Why do you soak your grain? All these wonderful millets have got 8% to 12.5% fiber associated with the carbohydrate. Why does it do like this? Because the glucose should not be flooded into your blood when you eat this grain, because it is regulating. Well, we only can have 5 grams in our blood. If you have more, emergency starts. So if I control the flood of the glucose into your blood, then there is no problem. Everything goes on smoothly. And that's what millets do. Especially these 5 millets. In fact, we will give you the book. All the information is printed. You don't need to write down. This is not a classroom. Please just observe. Foxtail, 8 grams. Kodo, 9 grams. Little, 9.8. Barnyard, it's called Udla, 10. And then brown top, 12.5. And the ratio of the fiber, which is again 65 to 69. You see, brown top has got maximum amount of fiber, maximum amount of carbohydrate. But it is arranged in such a way that it releases slowly and steadily. So if I eat 5 idlis of brown top millet in the morning, I will not be hungry till evening, because every 2 hours it gives you 5 grams of glucose, 5 grams of glucose. So you can mind your business and work instead of, if you eat 5 idlis of rice, within 1.5 hours you want to eat again, because it has just dumped all the glucose into your blood and your tummy wants again to do something. Because of this great arrangement of fiber to carbohydrate ratio. And that's what gives health for everyone. For everyone, health is given because it regulates glucose. We do need glucose. If you don't have glucose, you will die. Because glucose we burn and get energy. Glucose is burnt by oxygen, giving carbon dioxide and water. So this is the crux of the matter. So why do we need millets and why are they sidelined? Because the simple reason is millets can be grown anywhere and by anyone. Whereas rice and wheat and sugarcane can be produced only by these farmers who can use the corporate technologies. You need tractor, you need fertilizer, you need pesticides. So this fertilizer industry, in fact, this is the best politics in the world. All people are thinking BJP, Congress, TDP, or Trump, Democrat. All these are very small politics. The biggest politics is to control food. And that's what these corporates have done. So everyone in the world has to eat only this. But then if I start eating millets, I'm not in the corporate cycle. Because they can be grown anywhere and anyone. All through the world. So if, in fact, I travel to many countries, all these grains are just disseminated, including the seeds. No seeds are available in Italian millet. There is no millet seed in Italy. American millet, it is not there. Even if it is there, that is brown top millet, they have made sure that no one touches them because they said it is grown for birds. Here we are saying poor people. It is for birds. No one should eat. And that is the kind of education they have done to the schools, scientists, everyone. And all over the world they have been vanished, completely evaporated into thin air. No one knows where they are. In fact, I went to Nigeria last month. Little millet, there is no seed. They don't have it. Luckily, when I realized this in 1987, I came back running, went to all kinds of villages and collected these 5. Actually, there are 9 millets. And then I started studying them. Okay, it is theoretically all right, but then I have to prove that it really does these things. So we did a simple small experiment called renal tolerance test. You take diabetic patients and feed them rice ganji. In 1 hour, the glucose comes into their urine. When I feed brown top millet, glucose doesn't come into the urine. 5 hours, it doesn't come because it releases very small amounts, so the body starts using it. It doesn't come into urine at all. Like that, when you go through all the 12 grains, ragi, jola, baragu, sajje, these 5 come on top. Ragi, after 2 hours, it releases glucose. Jola, within 1.5 hours. Baragu, 1 hour, 15 minutes. Rice and wheat, 30-40 minutes. So the sooner it releases glucose, that means that is not our food. So scientifically, we know that these are not our food, but then it is very good for the corporate companies to deal. Because you have to put water, you have to put fertilizer, you have to put all this. Only then they come into picture. That's how this is chosen. In fact, back in old times, like he was telling my father-in-law, my tata and all, they never, because if you want to grow rice, you need lot of water. So only people who had lands nearby ponds or big running rivers, they used to grow 1 quintal or 2 quintals. But then the science, so-called agricultural science, came into picture and started increasing the yield because they are C3 foods. Whereas C4 foods, these are called C4 foods. However much water you give, however much fertilizers you give, however much pesticides you give, the yield doesn't grow. Because they don't require water when the kanki is made, that pinnacle is made. And that is the beauty of these wonderful grains. So you don't need water, you can just have watershed like that and then grow 3 crops in a year. So you don't need dams, you don't need all this big hangama that corporates can create and make only 10% of irrigated agriculture is going on in the world. And that's what is made us believe that that is the food. And hence slowly and steadily we all have forgotten these wonderful grains. And that suits the corporate culture because once you are sick, please come to me. Another big industry of pharmaceuticals. I'll give you a tablet. How long should I take if I have diabetes? Lifelong. I have BP. How long? Lifelong. Thyroid. How long? Lifelong. Heart block. Come today itself. We will operate. After that, if I get a block again, no problem. 1 more stent. We are ready here. Now liver is going away. No problem. We'll print the liver. We have high-tech 3 CD. Buy 1, get 1 free. Your knee. This is the business end of all these companies. Don't mistake me. This is exactly what is happening. But I can cure your so-called rheumatism. Please eat foxtail millet 3 days and the remaining each 1 day. In 6 months, you can climb Chamundi. You know what Chamundi? In Mysore, there is a Chamundi Betta. Very difficult, in fact, very steep. At 1,000 steps, you can see Chamundi. Climb. I have made thousands of patients who are on the bed, not able to move, so-called SLE. It's a autoimmune disease, lupus it's called. They cannot even lift their hand from here to here in the bed. Such people are now walking, climbing Chamundis. How did I do? There are no medicines. It is the food that cleans your body. Why? There is a fiber. Soluble fiber, insoluble fiber. So almost all the diseases of modern day origin, BP, diabetes, heart block, so-called cancer, everything we have been able to mitigate and improve the lives of thousands and thousands of people. But it doesn't suit the corporates. So when I say don't drink milk, All over the world, there is a resistance for me. How can you say milk is not good? And it is further escalated into different form in India. Oh, our cow's milk is better. That cow milk is not better. All milk has steroids. Of course, this JRC and HF has got 10 times more. But the problem is the same. We don't need, in fact, say you are 6 feet and you don't know swimming. And if the swimming pool is 7 feet or 8 feet or 10 feet, how does it matter to you? You will die. Am I right? So the same way, we just do not need 0.000 milligrams of these steroids into our baby's mouth. Whether you give cow's milk or Jersey milk or some other milk, you are overflooding these steroidal hormones. That's how the imbalance comes. The immunity at a second level gets disturbed with this sugar and milk. And that's how we are all sick. The whole world is a place of sick people because we are doing what we are doing, knowingly or unknowingly. But then we need to change. If we want to live on this planet healthily, you need to know what your food is. So, for a period of last 15 years, we have come to a statement, if your food is right, you don't need any medicine. And if your food is wrong, no medicine works. And that's what you're all proof of it. You have been eating all this rice, wheat and all that, and you keep taking tablet after tablet. I have a headache, I have migraine, I have this, I have that. So no one is curing, we are all managing. This is called management of pain and diseases. So I call it a sickness industry. There is no health, but people are saying health industry, health. There is no health, it's all sickness industry. You want to be healthy? Please come here. So where do you go? You are going to hospitals. You need to go to the farmers who are growing these wonderful grains. So we did all the testing, and the regular established scientific institutes do not want to talk about this. But if they talk, if the doctors prescribe instead of medicines the food, then we need to go to villages and start producing this. And that can be done very easily. No one needs anyone attention. You just have 5 to 6 like that, and then 8 to 10 acres is ready for growing millets. What all you need is the small ponds. I can go grow these millets 3 times in a year. So the same acre can produce almost 30 quintals without anyone's intervention, and no inputs are required. No fertilizer is required, no pesticide is required, nothing is required. And we have figured out this kind of loss of fertility because of sugarcane growing, because of rice growing, because of wheat growing. 18% of land in the world has become desert just because we are growing these crops. Just because we are using these fertilizers. Our Punjab is absolute mayhem. Completely out of whack. As I told you, in California, the whole range of barnyards have become completely deserts. So the whole world is facing this problem of desertification due to the modern agricultural techniques. So that is the reason why we need to shift to make our soil fertile. And that's where this jungle farming comes. What we do, we went to the jungle and picked up one fistful of soil and put it in the mud pot, and then started growing the microbes that are there. That we sprinkle on these unfertile soils. In a matter of 3 weeks, you can sow the millets. And then once the millet starts growing, lakhs of birds come in. Whereas for rice and wheat, no bird comes. The moment birds come, within 3 days, they all not only eat the grain on the grass, they leave their droppings. Within 3 days, if you have a small rain or just give a wetting, your soil is as fertile as it was 30 years ago. So this is the best technology, whatever word you want to use, not technology, technique, that you can fertile your soils. In fact, we did a small experiment in Gunturu. We took sand itself and then started using this microbial culture. We were able to grow millets. That means we have figured out a way of making unfertile soil to fertile soil in a matter of 3 months. Otherwise it would take, sir said, to build that layer it will take thousands of years. So in a matter of 3 months, we can initiate the process of fertilizing our desert lands into producing food. Food, in quotes, what food? If you want rice, wheat, meat, this is not food because it is giving us sickness. This is the food that gives you health. And that's why, I'll finish, Amma, in another 10 minutes. I have something, 10 more minutes about the villages and the processing and all. I'm trying to give you a lecture which is a completely holistic thing. And then if you are interested, we will sit and divide it into piece by piece, and I will feed you more information, more details, more technical things, because this is the first lecture. I'm just trying to cover everything in a nutshell. And then we can divide into details, and then if further we are interested, we'll work through Rythunestham and then different kinds of activities we can design. First, I want all of you to start using millets and personally become healthy. That is the first and foremost objective of my first lecture. You people, you, each one individually is very important. So you become healthy, and then we all together work towards our villages and then making our planet healthy, and we can in fact fight global warming. Just all of us turn to millet eaters in the world. Within 13 years, I have calculated, we can stop the global warming. 13 years. And this is the only way for the human race left to stop global warming. If and only if we convert ourselves, all the human race on this planet becomes millet eaters, then only there is a room for all of us to live peacefully on this planet in the future generations. Because unless we stop eating rice, we stop drinking coffee, we stop drinking tea, we stop eating meat, we stop eating eggs, nothing is going to be achieved with all your hi-fi technologies. This is a unequivocal statement I am making as a scientist. There may be many more scientists talking about this, but nothing is going to work unless we partake the least of the nature's bounty. We have to become frugal in our way of living. Only that can save the planet. No, I want to put my hand deep into the ocean's stomach and eat all the animals there. We have made extinct 68% of ocean creatures. And that is the kind of nature that we have developed in the past 30-40 years, because technology allows us to do. Now, coming to the word technology. The processing of these millets has to be done in villages, not by machines, by people. So we have created an appropriate technology, because the value addition, if you make through machines, the money goes to the corporations that make the machines. Say a machine costs 10 lakhs. So you, through NABARD or whatever, give subsidy and give the machine to the farmer. He puts it in his home only, but then he has to first pay 10 lakhs. That means he has become a laborer for this corporation through you, through NABARD. Through NABARD, he has become a laborer for the corporation. But then if I give him a 2,000 or 3,000 rupees mixie, each day a lady comes, sits there, works for 3 hours and breaks the husk and makes the rice. And we give a sieve to her hand. She uses her energy and then makes wonderful grain, which actually is the most healthy, because if you use a huge machine, you remove the husk on the top of the grain. And it is the top of the grain which has got the lignans, which are the most curative, healing part of the grain altogether here. So the appropriate technology not only helps a woman, in fact this has already happened, sir, near Kadri and Andhra Telangana border. A small girl of 7th class standard took our book, Rythunestham book, and read. Her mother had uterus cancer. We have a list in the book, small booklet. We will give you, in fact this is available on PDF free. You can download all over the world, people can download. It's free. It is in English, it is in Telugu, it is in Kannada, it is in Tamil also. Page number 38, 39, 14 in the table. So she studied this. She gave her mother Parijata Kashayam, people leaf kashayam, guava leaf kashayam, and made her eat little millet, kodo millet, like this. In 8 months, her mother got rid of her uterus cancer. And she, single lady, small girl. They were only two living very poor in a hut. So they came to my house, somehow searching for me because her mother became well. Then immediately we gave her a mixie, and then I gave her 1 quintal of little millet. Asked her to dehusk, and I paid her money and then bought the little millet. Then within 3 weeks, she started buying little millet from the yard and started working and making rice and started selling in the Sante. But how did it happen? She could sell because Dr. Khader has gone around all villages and informed that this little millet can do the wonders. So till now no one was using millet because it is being devalued by this food culture of industrial world. So the value has to be added by the people. So millet was grown. All over the world it disappeared because no one was doing anything with it. But in India, the villages, we had some respect for our traditional thing. Even now, you go to tribal areas of that Coimbatore, that side, sir, we have got people still making ambali and drinking because they refuse to change. That they said, this is the food for us, our ancestors ate, and this is what works for us. There are few small group of people, and that's how these wonderful grains have survived now through this history. And it is through them I got these grains back and started working on this, did all this work, and then now I go around all the villages in Karnataka, convince them, then they started growing. I started giving them the grains. And now this lady now actually went and kauluku tagondo, guttige antaralla, guttige teeskoni, she grows now little millet and she has got one, and seeing her, 40 women started doing this. So we supplied the mixie and now they are selling and they are making themselves sustainable. Household mix. We just tweaked it, made the RPM less and then made it work. So anyone can make, and that also we have fed on YouTube. Rythunestham has fed the mechanics of doing that, how to make, and we started giving training. In fact, Rythunestham in Gunturu is training women how to dehusk. So it's not only that they are growing. Now 1 kilo is 30 rupees. When you make 1 kilo rice, it becomes 100 rupees. So they have added the value of 30 more rupees. 2 kilos if you process, you get around 600 grams. So for 600 grams, they are actually getting more money than what they were getting if they sell as grain. 2 kilos they get 60 rupees. Now they are getting for 2 kilos. They have added their value. Not only that, they get their husk back. That husk can be given to the cows and bulls in the villages. So they are making another 10 extra rupees from That. So like this the value keeps adding. So we have also got, along with this millets, we entertain and exercise and train people, because people think growing millets is just grow all along one crop. No, we should mix with the dicotyledons, oil yielding. So we have groundnuts, we have sesame seeds, we have safflower, we have Niger seeds. All together we grow in an acre, and you need these oils for us. So we have encouraged bull-driven Ghana oils. We have actually already established in many villages, including Kornapadu. He has got 3 of them. And oils is another biggest sham on this planet that is happening. All the oils that you are consuming is not real oil. It is mineral oil produced out of your refinery industry, diesel industry. Higher than octane is the oil that they use for burning in diesel as petrol. Lower units of octane is the thin, transparent mineral oil, which I can add 1 kilogram of color chemical, 1 kilogram of flavor chemical. I can produce olive oil, I can produce rice bran oil, I can produce safflower oil, I can produce groundnut oil. You can ask me any oil that you want. If that doesn't exist on this planet, I can create something not at all existing, some color and some smell, and say this is another oil. And that's what the oils that are all you are buying in large tons and tons in plastic dabbas and eating bondas, bhajis, puris. And this is dangerous for your intestines, because it coats and makes your intestine hydrophobic. We need our intestines to be hydrophilic so that we can absorb all the nutrients and be healthy. So after we started using these refined oils, lot of cancer cases started appearing. In fact, you see yesterday's paper, it is alarming. 380% of cancers have increased in last 2018 to 2019. And if you graph the use of these refined oils, see, earlier we used to use 1 or 2 liters per month in a family of 5 or 10. Now people are using 10 liters of oil because it is free, almost 60 rupees, 90 rupees kilo. Whereas the real value, if you have 1 kilo of groundnut, if you use the bulls driven, you will get hardly 200 ml of oil. That means you need 5 kilos to get 1 liter of oil. So we were using very common sense, and actually oils are needed only for kids when they are growing up. After that we don't need oils to be healthy. You need very small amount, 1 or 2 spoons. And if the real oils are there, they clean your nervous system. And by using this logic, we used to have Niger oil, sesame seed oil, curing all the differently abled autistic kids. And in the same breath, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, we have cured thousands of them using these oils and these millets. So we see naturally grown products are directly related to our health. This point the scientists have hidden all along. All the industrial food culture, this food politics, all the fellows keep talking. Coconut oil has got cholesterol. Groundnut oil has got aflatoxin. This oil is bad for you. That oil, only oils that they give us are good. This is how we have been fooled. So our oils are not good. Olive oil is good. Safflower oil, that's all. All of that they give is good. But actually it is creating ill health problems. So now if we shift into our villages, Ghana driven oils, and we value that. Now where does the money flow from? From cities to? But then if you buy this oil, and this is what has happened in the last 13 years, all the villages are buying their oils, their rice, their toothpaste, another biggest sham. You use toothpaste, and earlier in our villages we used to use our neem leaf or honge stick or the ijlo, that charcoal powder, activated charcoal powder. And even today it is the best and most scientific way of cleaning your teeth. Even today. And it is sustainable. You go and pick a tree, and then the tree grows one more branch in no time. Whereas you make a toothpaste, actually toothpaste making on this planet is consuming 8% of our resources. The stupidest thing you can do is, to brush your teeth with paste and brush. And the brush with the bristles, a dodecanoic acid, you keep brushing, after 2 months you throw it away. Where does the remaining paste, that bristles have gone? It has gone into your mouth. And you call yourself all very educated and civilized. What the hell are you doing? Yeah? This is what has happened in the name of science and progress and modernity. This as your central theme. The focus should be the money flows from cities to the villages. Only then the villages can prosper and flourish. Anything else is just the opposite. And that's what has been happening all along in the last 30-40 years. Lot of NABARD, another bank, load of banks running around. Kavira Gramina Bank, Gramina Bank, all are actually doing the other way around. Don't mistake me for saying this. This is exactly what is happening. So please, if our villages have to flourish, they have to prosper, we are the ones who plan. Unless this planning happens, nothing is going to work. And while doing this, what else happens? You become healthy. They will produce and give us something which is really natural, and our health is taken care of. And if your health is not all right, no nation can say they are doing right. So that's what I keep telling. If your culture and agriculture are not in place, nothing works. And in the last 50 years, we have lost both of them.
See, this has been told to Modi, so that you can change the entire because we are following the scientists' recommendations only.
I am also a scientist, sir.
Yes, we are scientists. But now,
No, you can follow my advice also a little bit. Huh?
you have come very late.
No, actually I have been here for the last 20 years, I have been blabbering.
We have started about 6 years back.
Yes, but see,
Actually, I will tell you,
yes, sir. No, let me finish, sir, my talk, because he said 45 minutes. I think I have few more minutes.
we used to distribute Herbal for poor people.
Yes.
Anybody, someone who used to distribute. But I never took it because it's a poor man's right.
Yeah, now actually, in Kurnool, when I went to give lecture, there were thousands of them. And see, now after Khader came, people in bench cars are drinking Ambali. And that is the best way to become healthy. You fill your microbiome.
We are all following, I think we know Swaminathan, right from 60s and 70s. He is our guru. The guru for government, guru for banks, everybody. And he has given big report.
Yes, sir.
He never said like what we are telling now.
I'm happy that now he is talking about nutraceuticals. At least now he is talking. But so that's what has happened. That's what this corporate culture has done to us. We are all party to this. We are all party to this. I'm not blaming anyone, sir. This is, see, past you can never question. It has happened. Someone has done mistakes, no pointing mistakes, no pointing fingers. As a whole human race has done this mistake. Whole human race, according to me, it is not Swaminathan, it is not this scientist, it is not Indian government, it is not. See, that kind of attitude doesn't work. Now, what do we do? This is where we stand. What do we do now from onwards? And each and every one of us, see, you have to change the system means first each individual has to change. My wife keeps telling me, oh, you are going to go and hit the mountain. You are like talking, oh, you're going to change this. I said, I'm not going to hit the mountain. I'm go to the mountain and start taking one stone and keep it aside. There's no point. We cannot fight among ourselves. We have to work together. See, the problem is big. Climate change, we hardly have 20 years of time. So let's not point fingers, you, I'm here. Let's all work together. First, let's change ourselves, become healthy. And as I said, it is simple actually. If all of us decide to eat the locally grown food, that means now I can give foxtail millet seeds to the Italians. It will happily grow, even now it will grow. So let them eat foxtail millet. I'll give to Little, in fact we made arrangements to give Little Millet and the seeds. We just sent them, sir, Nigeria, the agriculture department. Now they are growing. Just day before yesterday they have sown 20 acres. And they will make their seeds. They don't need to depend on us anymore. So we can make every area self-sustainable, and if we all work together, and that is my dream actually. That the whole world recognizes this, and then the wonderful food is there in these 5 grains, and we can distribute the seeds. We have made it available now for the whole Karnataka. The northern Karnataka now is growing in large quantity. I think it is the biggest area in the whole world to grow maximum amount of millets, and many farmers have stopped committing suicide because the value has been added to the millets. Now everyone wants millet. The brown top millets are 200, 300 rupees. Now lot of farmers are growing. The totally it will come to 100 or 150, it will settle down there. Yes, exactly. So if we give value, we eat it, the value comes. So now the whole 7 billion people on this planet approximately start eating these millets, then all our villages become rich. Because what they were producing before, no one gave money. Now, whatever they are producing, they will give money. Very simple, am I right? So, we give value. So, first, I request on the personal grounds, you all start eating. Experiment just for 6 months. Now comes how to eat. Because we have forgotten. In fact, when I give the Kodo millet, oh, yen hingide, like that. Chenagilla. Because our minds are brainwashed. We want to see the rice. If I don't, first thing in the morning I want to drink coffee. Without coffee, how can I function? So we have figured out all those things, and we have made a list of 60 different diseased conditions. How to leave coffee, how to leave drugs, how to leave liquor. These are all duschattas, habits we have worked out, figured out, and healed a lot of people. Thousands of people have left drinking liquor, stopped drinking coffee, by making them use decoctions and this wonderful millets. This brown top millet, this fiber has got the wonderful capacity to make you be okay without drinking. So the fiber of brown top, because it works on your digestive system. So it makes things clean, and you do not want to drink alcohol anymore. If you start eating brown top millet for 3 days and then 1 each day. Like that, Kanuga, Pongimiya, Honge, that Kashayam, and Tippatiga, that is Tinospora trichordata, all that information is given. So few decoctions, and then imbalance of women, lot of problems, periods problem, uterus problem, PCOD problem, migraine problem, white discharge problem, cervical cancers problem, all that we have got what is called, I'll just for one, I'll give you a page number 43, thyroid problem, PCOD, high hormone imbalance. So you just have bilva, that bilva, bel, Hindi mein bel kehte hai, bilva, leaves, kashaya, and gongura, our gongura pickle, I mean, the best. That kashayam is the best for women's hormone imbalance problem. And then our arali mara, that is ravi aku, ashwatha, that people leaves. That is wonderful. Actually, I keep getting the cases of young girls starting to menstruate. 6-year-old, 7-year-old, 8-year-old. First thing we give is people leaves kashayam. Within 6 days, the bleeding stops. And then neem leaves. Then betel leaves. So, in fact, Many cases we have stopped them menstruating and completely worked out, and they started menstruating at the age of 14. So we can reverse back these unnatural things, because if you restore the balance of the hormones, body starts functioning properly. So these kind of wonderful things we have worked out. Of course, many doctors, many scientists do not agree. Hey, what are you saying? Diabetes, can it be cured? No, that's the answer. All over the world you can go and say, Dr. Khader has cured diabetes, though I have cured thousands of them, till no one agrees. We have 20 cancer patients, table. Hundreds of them are reporting on a daily basis to us that they are doing well. In fact, this day before, Adilabad, sir, yesterday I went to give lecture. Kidney cancer, creatinine, dialysis, 21-year-old boy. Day before yesterday, he learnt about my book, and then he didn't go there. He said, if I have to die, I will die. And now it is 8 months. He is completely all right. He has got all the leaves in the bag and showing me. And now, Kalak Namaskaram Petti, he is telling, I am all right, sir. Otherwise, I had to spend 21 lakhs. That's the bill they have given even before he is admitted. Yes, sir, this is what is happening. They are actually calculating the transplantation, this, that, all that kind of, because they are telling, go and get money from a bank. This is the system that is working out. This is how corporates work. They give you a tractor. A fellow who has got 2 acres land, he is being pushed upon with 10 lakh hectare tractor. What does he do with the tractor which have 2 acres? Once he does that, after that, what will he do? We are doing these kind of things, am I right? This is what is happening. So let's be practically think properly and then do something. We have to keep making changes to correct this system. Course correction has to happen. So this is all my blabbering. Please don't mistake me the way I speak. This is the way I am, actually. I cannot do anything else or better than this. Thank you. Thank you.